You don't win life all at once. You don't conquer the world in a single act of greatness. Victory, real victory, is not some final moment at the peak, some applause, some finish line. It is forged in the invisible hours, in the silence before dawn, in the decisions no one sees, in the discipline that costs you comfort. It is the power to show up again and again and again. To wage war not on the world, but on yourself, on your laziness, on your excuses, on your weakness, on your doubt. And to win today. That's the truth Marcus Aurelius understood. That the empire of the mind must be ruled daily, not occasionally, not when it's easy, not when you feel like it, but relentlessly, deliberately, stoically. He wrote, "You must build your life action by action, because that is how you rise. That is how you ascend. Not by dreaming, but by doing. Not by waiting, but by winning. The battle of the day." We think greatness belongs to the extraordinary, but it belongs to the ordinary, who show extraordinary consistency. The ones who get up when it's hard, who train when it's raining, who practice when they're tired, who speak the truth when it's unpopular, who finish what they start. Edison didn't invent the light bulb in one blinding stroke of genius. He failed 10,000 times and won one decision at a time, daily, relentlessly, ruthlessly. That is daily victory. That is where power is born. It's not in the grand gestures. It's in the invisible choices. Will you snooze the alarm or rise with purpose? Will you drift or direct your day? Will you seek comfort or become capable? You must decide, because the day will not wait for you. Every day you rise, you are entering an arena, and the enemy is not out there. The enemy is within. The soft voice that whispers, "Just this once. You can take it easy." The fear that says, "What if I fail?" The doubt that sneers, "Who do you think you are?" These voices win when you delay. They grow stronger when you hesitate, but they disappear the moment you act. When your feet hit the floor with discipline, when your mind locks onto purpose, when your will overrides your feelings. This is the truth that built empires, that built steel tycoons like Carnegie, visionaries like Disney, inventors like Ford. They all understood. You don't wait for motivation. You train your mind like a soldier. You win one internal battle at a time. You choose what to believe. You choose what to ignore. You choose what to execute, not someday, but now. Because there is no someday. There is only this day. And the ones who win this day win their lives. So what does that victory look like? It's not the headlines, it's not the trophies, it's the internal scoreboard you carry when no one's watching. It's showing up to the gym when you could have stayed in bed. It's choosing clarity over chaos, discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure. It's saying, I don't need to feel like it, I only need to decide. Because belief is not a feeling, it is a command. That's what Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the foundation. Power over your mind, authority over your perspective. You don't need more time. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need permission. You need clarity. You need conviction. You need command over yourself. This is not motivational fluff. This is war. Because if you don't win yourself today, the world will own you. The opinions of others will own you. Your impulses will own you. Your distractions will own you. But if you win yourself, nothing can stop you. Because discipline compounds, momentum builds, action sharpens purpose, and when you stack enough daily wins, the world bends, not all at once, not in fireworks, but in quiet, daily revolutions. That is how you build a life that cannot be shaken. That is how you lead when others follow, endure when others quit, grow when others rot in complacency. You will not be ordinary. Because ordinary is at war with greatness, and the price of greatness is daily self-mastery. Look around. Most people are prisoners of their moods. They let emotions rule their day. They seek escape, not evolution, but not you. You will be different, because you are not waiting for the world to change. You are changing yourself. And the hardest person you will ever lead is you. That is the burden. That is the calling. To lead yourself when no one is looking. To act with integrity when no one is clapping. To stay hungry when there's no reward yet in sight. That's the victory. The moment you realize, I don't need a crowd to stay committed. I don't need a guarantee to keep going. I don't need to feel ready. I need to stay ready. That mindset? That is what separates the powerful from the passive. It's what Marcus knew in his bones, that you do not control fate, but you control your response. You control your effort, your attitude, your direction. And if you do that, not once, not twice, but daily, the world moves. Not because you chased it, but because you became undeniable. Because when a person trains the mind to obey vision, not feelings, that person becomes unstoppable. No plan survives without action. No action survives without clarity. And no clarity survives without stillness. So you must make space every morning to sharpen your soul. Even 5 minutes of stillness to say, what kind of person will I be today? What will I stand for? What will I no longer tolerate from myself? Because if you don't define your day will define you. And it won't make you stronger. It will make you weaker, distracted, diluted. You must take control before the world begins, and then you must protect that control, defend it like a fortress. You think that's too much? Then stay average. But if you want something more, then understand. Your greatness will never be revealed in a single act, but in the thousands of invisible choices that no one sees and you make anyway. That is where the power lives, not in the dream, but in the daily victory. And when you live like that, with intention, with presence, with unwavering consistency, the days stop slipping through your fingers. Because now you're not chasing life, you're sculpting it, one block at a time. You become the builder, not the beggar. You don't beg for opportunity. You build the skill. You build the endurance. You build the habits that make success inevitable. It's not glamorous. It's not always exciting, but it is powerful. Because every time you choose discipline over ease, every time you do what must be done, not what you feel like doing, you lay another brick in the foundation of an unshakable life. And what is that foundation made of? Belief. Not the soft kind that hopes things work out, but the steel-forged belief that says, even if it's hard, I will not break. Even if I fail, I will rise again. Even if no one understands, I will stay true. It's belief that becomes identity. And once it becomes your identity, you no longer negotiate with weakness. That's what separates the few from the many. The many wish. The few work, the many dabble, the few commit, the many wait to feel ready. The few decide that readiness is a lie, and action is the truth. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They knew that power wasn't in avoiding hardship, it was in enduring it with grace, with clarity, with discipline. Marcus Aurelius ruled not by avoiding chaos, but by mastering his internal world while leading an empire surrounded by war, betrayal, plague. And he still woke up each day and wrote to himself, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. Not as a god, not as a ruler, but as a human, struggling, but choosing anyway." That is the work of rising to your own standard, not just once, but daily. And when you do this, something profound happens. You begin to trust yourself, not because everything goes right, but because you know, even when everything goes wrong, you will still show up. And that's the most powerful force in the world, self-trust born from action. No more second guessing, no more emotional roller coasters, no more hoping life gives you clarity. You become the source of clarity because you no longer chase the storm, you become the calm within it. You walk into your day knowing, I am not here to survive, I am here to shape. And so you shape with your decisions, you shape with your habits, you shape with the way you carry yourself when no one's watching. You shape with how you speak to yourself when you're tired, when you're behind, when you're overwhelmed. You shape with the 1,000 tiny victories no one else will ever see. But you will remember. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you rise when you could have stayed down, every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you change. You become more focused, more grounded, more ruthless with your time, more precise with your vision. You stop hoping success will come. You start becoming someone success can't ignore. This is how the legends did it. Lincoln wasn't born with resolve. He forged it. In the silence of struggle, in the face of loss. He lost election after election. He failed in business. He battled depression. But he kept moving because his mission was greater than his moods. That is what you must choose, to live for something greater than how you feel in a moment, to build something that lasts beyond today's discomfort, to ask not, what do I want now, but what do I want most? Because daily victory is not just about today, it's about who you are becoming. And if you want to become someone unstoppable, someone focused, someone disciplined, you must train it. You must practice courage in the small things. Speak up when it's easier to stay quiet. Get to work when no one's asking you to. Be excellent in the things no one will ever applaud. That's where real strength is born. It's not about performance. It's about presence. It's not about how loud your life looks. It's about how aligned it is when no one's watching. You'll know it when your values match your actions. When your vision isn't just a dream, it's your default direction. When people around you stop asking, "Are you motivated today?" because they know the answer doesn't matter. You act either way. That's power. That's leadership. And it begins every morning when you ask yourself, will I let the day define me? Or will I define the day? Because the greatest war is not against the world. It's against the temptation to live below your potential, to accept average, to surrender your power, to retreat when things get heavy. You are not here to coast. You are here to conquer, to forge a life that demands your strength and brings it out of you. No one will hand you that life. No one will carry you to it. You must earn it. With your discipline, with your clarity, with your consistency, with your daily victories. Each one may seem small, but stack enough of them, and one day you will look back and see you didn't just change your habits, you changed your identity. You became someone who refuses to lose the day, not because it's easy, but because you decided, I will not lose myself. There's a fire that grows in a person who refuses to break. Not a loud fire, not dramatic, but steady, relentless, burning quietly behind the eyes of someone who has learned to say, "I'll go again." That fire? It doesn't come from speeches. It doesn't come from hype. It comes from the struggle, the repetition, the hours where no one claps, the nights where no one sees. And yet, you go again. You rise again. You sharpen the blade again because you've learned. Victory is not something you wait for. It's something you create. In the way you think, in the way you respond, in the way you move through resistance with purpose. When others fold, you adjust. When others complain, you create. When others stall, you strike. Because you're not aiming to be better than anyone else. You're aiming to be better than the version of yourself that gave in yesterday. That's the war you're in. And that's the power of daily victory. It compounds. One clean decision leads to another. One disciplined day builds the muscle for the next. One aligned action silences the chaos in your mind and replaces it with peace. Not the peace of laziness, the peace of self-respect. Because when you live in alignment with your highest values, you sleep different, you walk different, you look yourself in the mirror and see a person worth believing in, not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent, and that's the difference. Most people wait until they feel powerful to act, but power doesn't show up first. Action does, and action creates the power. You think Ford built an empire because he felt confident? He had no roadmap, he had no guarantee, but he had belief, he had vision. He had the nerve to take the next step over and over again. When the world said no, he didn't flinch. He just built anyway. And that's what daily victory gives you. Nerve, grit, backbone, calluses on the mind. So when pressure comes, you don't panic, you proceed. That's what the greats do. They operate on principle, not pressure. They move by compass, not weather. They do what's needed, not what's easy. You can do that too. If you're willing to live a life that demands more of you, not in grand gestures, in the ordinary moments. Moments like this, when you want to delay, but you take action. When you want to distract yourself, but you stay with the task. When you want to give a half effort, but you bring full presence. When you do these things, the world notices. It doesn't congratulate you at first, but it starts to respond. Doors open, people shift, results compound. Why? Because success is magnetized by consistency. It doesn't respond to the loudest. It responds to the most aligned, the most grounded, the most prepared. And no one becomes that overnight. They become it by earning today. That's what Marcus meant when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Be one." Now today, in how you speak, in how you show up, in how you endure, in how you lead, because you are leading, whether you realize it or not. Your habits are leading your future. Your actions are leading your identity. Your energy is leading your environment. And every time you win the day, you lead your life in a new direction. So what will you do with this power? Will you keep living at the mercy of your moods? Or will you rise now, not later? Will you wait for a sign? Or will you realize you are the sign? That burning inside you, that quiet urgency, that whisper that says there's more in you, that is your calling. Not a fantasy, not a someday, a now. And that now is sacred. Because this day, it will never come again. You get one shot to lead it with purpose, to fill it with action, to make it count, not for the world's applause, but for your own evolution. So take the shot. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Don't aim to look powerful. Aim to be powerful. In the simplest, realest way, by doing what must be done. Your potential isn't sleeping. It's waiting. It's waiting for you to say, enough comfort. Enough delay, enough of who I was. It's time to act like the person I'm meant to be. And when you say that, and you follow through, everything begins to shift. Your body follows your mind. Your emotions follow your vision. Your life follows your decisions. It's all connected, and the daily victory is the thread that weaves it together. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. Just rise one step higher. You don't need to change everything. Just stop breaking the promises you make to yourself. That's where power lives. That's where dignity is born. Because when you string enough of those days together, the hard days, the disciplined days, the clear days, you won't need to chase greatness. You'll realize you've become it. Because greatness isn't a destination, it's a decision. And you get to make it. Today. So decide. Decide that today is not a rehearsal, that your time is not disposable, that your focus is not for sale, that your mind is not a battleground for distractions, fears, or anyone else's limitations. Decide that you will take full command, because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. There is no cavalry. There is no perfect moment. There is only you. And this moment, and the choices you make with it. Every minute, you are sculpting your character. Every decision, you are building your future. Every reaction, you are either reinforcing your power or giving it away. That's why you cannot afford to drift. Not now, not ever. You are not here to be like everyone else. You are here to rise above what you used to tolerate. You are here to break cycles that broke your ancestors. You are here to become the kind of force that doesn't just survive the storm, becomes it. Daily victory is not just about you. It's about your legacy. What will they remember when your time is done? That you played it safe? That you lived on autopilot? That you got good at making excuses sound wise? Or will they say you were different? That when you didn't feel like rising, you rose anyway? That when you were surrounded by mediocrity, you chose excellence? That when others gave up on themselves, you became the reason they believed again? This world is starving for leaders, real ones, grounded ones, relentless ones, the kind who don't just talk, they embody the values they preach. And that kind of leadership is earned daily, in silence, when no one sees, and you keep moving forward anyway. Because here's the secret most people never grasp. Discipline is freedom. Responsibility is strength. Sacrifice is sacred. Effort is a gift, not a punishment. You don't have to do these things. You get to. You get to mold yourself. You get to face resistance and sharpen your edge. You get to choose growth when others run from it. You get to write a story that isn't written by circumstance, but by conviction. And one day, maybe not now, maybe not soon, you'll look back and realize all those early mornings, all those lonely reps, all those silent battles, they weren't detours, they were the way. Because daily victory isn't about checking a box, it's about becoming someone no setback can break, someone no failure can silence, someone no opinion can sway. And that kind of person, they don't just succeed, they inspire, they ignite. They wake up every room they walk into, not by demanding attention, but by carrying the quiet weight of self-mastery. That is what this world needs, not more noise, more examples. So become one. Not tomorrow. Not when it's easier. Not when someone gives you permission. Now wake up with intent. Move with clarity. Execute without apology. Because while others wait for motivation, you'll be too busy winning the day. And that's how it begins. That's how it always begins. Not in comfort, not in celebration, not in applause, but in the silent decision to rise again, to push again, to believe again. And that belief becomes action. The action becomes habit. The habit becomes identity. And the identity becomes destiny. That is the power of daily victory. It doesn't make you invincible. It makes you inevitable. Because the world can't deny a person who refuses to retreat. The world moves for the person who moves forward, no matter what stands in the way. So move forward. Today. No hesitation, no distraction, no excuses, just presence, just execution, just you versus who you were yesterday. And this time, you win.